Okay, so looking at identifying your niche and your target market. And this topic is so easy to dismiss. But if you get this right, it's probably one of the most important things you can do to grow your business. So really encourage you to focus and carve out the time to come back to this if you don't nail it in this session. Some of my clients, they know instantly, and I would say they get it right instantly. I've had clients who it was a painful process over 3 months. They had a very at that initially their niche and their target market weren't lining up, and they had to pivot a little bit. But actually, that pivot has made them so niche that they are standing out, and they have recently spoken for Microsoft, probably I would say within a few months of working out what that niche was. So, highly, highly, highly recommend that you focus and you give this the time it deserves. You're probably going to hear me say that a lot. So, most business owners, if you ask them who their target market is, they would say everyone. And the risk with taking this approach is that it's very hard to target the people who really want you and really connect with them and their problems in a way that makes them respond. So, when most small businesses think about marketing, they think of the big brands who are using brand awareness. They think about like Coke, Nike, and what these guys are doing. But these huge companies, they literally have millions of pounds to put into advertising to raise their brand awareness so that they brand themselves into our subconscious so that we're not even thinking about what, when we buy new trainers or when we're thirsty. They're a default option. They're a household name that everybody knows. But I don't know about you. I personally don't have millions of pounds to brand myself with. And I don't know a single small business owner who can do this. Um, and if we did, actually, it would be a bit like stumbling around in the fog, hoping to bump into our ideal clients. So we need to be a bit clever and work out exactly who we're looking to work with and get in their heads, so that we can work out a detailed picture about them, what they look like, and what motivates them. So if you think of your potential clients as everyone, then the messaging you put out is literally like, shooting at arrows with blindfold on, hoping to hit somebody. Um, you know, if say there's somebody here that's interested, somebody here, it's very unlikely that we're going to be connecting with those people. But if we can hone our niche and realize that actually it's this small clump of people here that are interested and can really benefit what we do and that we want to work with. So if we hone our niche and get really clear on our messaging, our targeting, and we put that same energy out into their direction, we are going to have a massively higher response rate. So, what is a niche? It's basically that small subcategory you want to become known for. And it's very specific. So rather than a beautician, it's a beautician who specializes in injecting or microblading. They may do other things as well, but it's what they're known for. Um, Rather than just a photographer, it's maybe a family photographer in Southeast London, or it's a small business brand photographer. When you know who you're targeting and you can focus your energy, your results are going to be that much greater. And there's the example of a light bulb, which is used to light a room. But actually, if you take that same level of energy from the light bulb and you concentrate it into a laser beam, it cuts through metal. And that's the power of focus. And it makes finding your clients and being successful in your small business so much easier. So, I'm sure you've heard that your ideal niche is described as an inch wide and a mile deep. This means it's very specific, but there's a lot of people within that target market looking for the solutions you offer. So you want to be sure that it's specific, but there's enough people there. And we will look at niching in more detail as we go through the year together. But for now, let's just take that initial consideration of what it could be in each of your businesses. So you want to work out what you most enjoy doing in your work and the amount of people in that particular niche who could benefit from your services and the price point that that particular niche could pay. So for me, and I think probably my niche is still too wide, I am a business coach, a business growth strategist that works with people who are looking to grow their business. And most of these people have come from working for somebody else. They're quite new to running a business and they're not sure how to grow. So what about you? What might your niche be? So have a think, and how can you be more specific? So, for example, instead of being like, I've got a client who's an air conditioning company, but they're an air conditioning company that works with office fit out companies in London. So it's quite specific. It's your specialism. It's the services that you provide and how you help your target market. So, for example, if you're an accountant, it might be that you're an accountant that likes to work with green businesses that are focused on their environmental impact. If you're a copywriter, it might be that you specialize in writing copy for podcasts. The more niche you can be, the more you can understand your target market. So let's think now about your target market. So this is the ideal client that you want to serve, and it goes hand in hand with your niche. And this is the person that all of your messaging, you have this person in mind. So the niche is the what, and the target market is the who. It's the individual or the business that you're attracting. So why is this important? Well, I'd love to use an example of a nursing home that I was working with over in Brazil. And honestly, they were doing well. They'd grown, they were winning awards, but we got really clear on the type of person that was their ideal client. So initially, they were quite resistant to doing this work, I should say, but initially said, oh, it's anyone, it's everyone. But when we delved deep into their ideal clients, the people who were spending the most money with them and were using their best clients, they all had one thing in common. They were all on a final salary pension, which means that they'd worked for the government generally. And they actually, rather than coming from the area that the nursing home was based in, they actually came from a range of cities that were scattered along a motorway that made accessing the nursing home in its position really accessible. We realized as well that we weren't targeting the actual clients, but we were targeting the grown-up children of these clients, who tended to all be professionals, who were working good jobs and lived fairly close to live within those cities. So knowing this, we could make the marketing much more targeted. So at that point in time, the nursing home was using a lot of Facebook ads. They've now moved to Google Ads. There's a whole different conversation there. But at the time, they were focused on Facebook ads. So rather than just firing out randomly across the entire of the Rio region, they were able to focus their marketing on the adult children. So people within a specific age demographic, because the kids were probably going to be 50 to 70, within a specific geographic location. So these sort of feeder cities that were close, 20 minutes on the motorway from the nursing home, within those professional jobs. And actually, when we focused the marketing and targeted those people, that nursing home had its first year where it made over $1 million in profit, which is incredible. So it's not a pound space economy, so it's not equivalent, but you get the impression that was a massive leap for them. And that's why this work is so important. And yes, you can definitely have more than one target market, but you want to do the work to identify them individually and concentrate your efforts on the people who are most likely to buy from you. So most people are marketing to the mass market, and they fear that they'll miss out on someone. So they're putting their marketing out really widely to attract everyone. And when you do this, you generally miss everyone. You want to get this stuff right. Everything needs to be aligned around your target market and your niche. So really dig deep and think about this. So I had a flyer that came through the door. Oh, and interestingly, I actually think I might have met the business owner since, I've just realized, a couple of years later. But the flyer said something along the lines of, do you have a big garden that is starting to overwhelm you? That's becoming a bit wild. And it nailed so exactly my thought processes on my slightly too big, going a bit crazy garden, that I was like, oh my God, yes. Like I actually had an audible response. And that's what you're looking for is, when the marketing is targeted so specifically, you want your target market to be like, oh my goodness, they're talking directly to me. So I'm going to take you through some questions to consider. They'll be in the workbook as well. So please make notes as we go through. So we want to be thinking about who is actually buying from you, the types of clients and the similarities between them. And our best clients often are most profitable. So it can be the 20% of your clients that give you the 80% of the profit. If you don't know this, pause or make a note to do it later and look back at your records. You'll probably be surprised. So we're going to do something called the Boston Consulting Matrix. And what I'd love you to consider is, where do your existing clients sit within this matrix? And this will help you to identify and profile your ideal clients. If you're a startup, use your best guess. So, gosh, let me, can you see this? No, oh, there we go. So this is the Boston Consulting Matrix. And it basically tracks the client relationship, which is along here, against profit, which is up here. So all of your clients will fit into one of these categories. So you've got your A clients, where you don't make particularly much money from them and you don't massively enjoy working with them. You don't have a great relationship. You've got your B clients who, they're actually quite pleasant to work with, but you don't make a lot of money working with them. You've got your C clients. So they sit in the poor relationship sector, but that you make money from them. So you don't enjoy working with them. You probably dread it slightly when the phone rings, but they are profitable. And then you've got your D clients, and this should be the people you're targeting, because you love working with them and you make good money when you do it. So your A clients, people who are a pain in the ass, unpleasant to work with, and you don't make money from them. What should you do? Well, there will come a time, I'll get you to see this, where you should fire them. You may not be there yet, but one day you will thank me. Make sure your business can sustain it. Then your B clients. Well, these are the people you love working with, but you don't make a lot of money from them yet. So nurture that relationship, help them to grow, and help them to be in a position to spend more money with you. Your C clients. So these are the ones where they're a pain in the ass, they're not pleasant to work with, but you do make good money from them. If you're feeling bold, it may be worth that conversation. Take them out for coffee, take them out for lunch, and draw them this, and explain where they sit and why they sit there, and seek to improve their relationship. It's risk, you may lose them. So you've got to be prepared for that. But over time, you want to be focusing on getting more of these D clients, the ones that make you great money. You love working with them. That is the win. So when you're looking at your avatars, be sure that you are targeting these clients. Right, let me find my notes again. Okay, so you may need to go away and sort of look through your records and work out where each of your clients sit, but take a few minutes and do this exercise. It can be very enlightening. So let's think avatars. Take these learnings that you've got so far and create an avatar. This is a description of your ideal client and their life. So you're wanting to get in their head and understand their business. Now, let's see, where are we at on the workbook? So this is the page that says avatar at the top, and there is some space over the next page for some notes. So let's think business to consumer. So this is people who are working with individuals in their business. And what you need to bear in mind as well is that in every business, there are decision makers. So if you work entirely with business to business clients, use the same process for the decision makers. So where do these people live? These are the demographics. Are they in flats in London? Are they in a nice big house out in Kent? Are they living in a town? Are they out, are they in the countryside? What do they drive? Are they driving Teslas? Are they very green conscious? For some of your target market, they might be so green conscious, they actually don't own a car. Some of them, you'll be targeting people who are driving, a Mini Cooper. So it's little, it's cute, but it's not a cheap car for what it is. Some of you'll be targeting people who drive like a Ford Focus, and others, you'll be going after the Bentley drivers. So it's good to have that picture. Do they have children? Where are those children educated? What sort of income brackets are they in? Is there one income earner in the house, or is it a joint income? And who are the decision makers in the house? And where are they located? So thinking back to the nursing home example that I shared, so most of these people would actually have been living, either they'd be living fairly central because they're living in the sort of the richer areas within the cities, or outside if they're living in nice houses. There would be a decent income in the household, but actually the funding to pay for the care would have come from that final salary pension of the parents. The decision makers are the adult children. And we find that geographic location, which hadn't even necessarily been areas that we'd previously been advertising in, which was very interesting. So really think through these demographics. And then we want to go a bit deeper into their head and the psychographics. So this is looking at their behaviors. What do they value? What hobbies do they have? Like, where are they shopping? Are they Lidl? Are they Waitrose? What brands do they buy? Are they an iPhone? Are they like an early adopter? Are they very tech-based? And you want to be thinking about the key pain points for them. So a lot of the time, people buy based on fear. Sometimes it's fear of missing out. Sometimes their pain points are time and efficiency. Fear also comes into their motivation for buying. A lot of people buy based on value. So they're not necessarily looking for the cheapest, but they're looking for a top value product. Sometimes they're motivated by indulgence. So the nursing home example, their motivations were partly fear-based of what if something happens to my mum while I'm not there. or that fear of, maybe she's has a lot of dementia patients, so maybe they'll like burn the house down by mistake. And love as well. They wanted to be the good child that did the right thing by their parents. A lot of people buy based on efficiency. So this is a big one with subscription-based models. So, oh my goodness, there's loads of there's laundry capsules you get on subscription. There's like razor blades. There's so many subscription-based models. So efficiency is a big thing at the moment. Amazon, all about efficiency and saving time. So think about, what would your avatar's key motivations be for buying? What are their key pain points? Is it something that they want, something they want to achieve that they've not done yet? Something about their living environment? And then think through the common objections to doing business with you. So a lot of the time it's going to come down to cost and time commitment. But think about any other objections there might be, because you can target these in your messaging. So for those of you who are business to business, in terms of demographics, you want to be thinking about the business type that you're targeting. What sort of industries and sectors are you targeting? Is it owner managed? Sometimes it might be, some of my clients are targeting private equity funded or venture capital funded businesses. A lot of my clients target owner managed businesses. And think about the size of business. How many employees do they have? Where are they based? Do they own their own premises? Are they actually like a home-based online business? What are the demographics? And then think about the psychographics. So think about who are the decision makers. And often there are influencers to the decision makers. So a lot of the time, the decision makers will be the CEO, or it can be sometimes the HR person, the HR head of HR. It can be one of the directors, depending on what your offering is. But they're probably going to be influenced by those around them. So you want to get in the head and really understand each of the decision makers and influencers in a business. So, for example, if they might be needing to make a decision on, I don't know, whatever the service is, so maybe getting a new copywriter in for their business, it's unlikely that the director is going to do that research themselves. So they will be influenced by whoever's doing that research. So it's likely to be an assistant of some kind. So you want to get in the head and understand both of them, their behaviors, their values, the impacts of the decision, both for the business and for them personally. And ego might be a big motivation for buying in some circumstances. So it might be being seen to be, for people who are driving Bentleys, for example, or even like Mercedes, a lot of the time they want to be seen to be driving a nice car. And they're looking for that luxurious experience. They're looking for something that's easy to use, efficient. They know it's not going to break down on them. We're talking cars. And think about, what are their motivations for buying with you? So is it that ambition, with a copywriter example, they'd be trying to improve their marketing and messaging through a copywriter. There's the fear of not making that investment, not getting that growth. So list out the characteristics and build out that profile. What does that person look like? You can give them a name. One of my early avatars was based on one of my favorite clients who worked in HR and has built a significant HR brand. And yeah, she was my dream client. So I spent time understanding her and getting in her head, her ambition, her habits. Where was she showing up? And actually, it's really interesting to know, where do these people spend their time? So for some of them, they will be at the school gates. If you're targeting female entrepreneurs, the School Greats is a great person to actually connect with them. If you're, and that messaging around that, the balance of family and business. If you're targeting somebody who, lives in central London, actually, it might be that getting into, Metro magazine, if somebody's taking the tube a lot. So you want to understand where are they hanging out? And so when you're tailoring your messaging, this is the gold. You want to match the message to your target market. So you've got to have done that earlier bit of work to understand them to get the results. And any messaging you're putting out, whether it's your social media, your website, for anyone doing advertising, flyers, whether you're out networking and it's like a 60 seconds or just a 10-word snippet about what you do, you want to hit those key messages so that your target market hears it and says, wow, this is for me, I need this. They want to feel like it's specifically aimed at them. And it's good as well to understand where are they hanging out, either in person or online. So for some people, that will be at the office. If you're targeting business to business and they have an office, that is a great place to, send some flyers or whatever. For a lot of professionals, LinkedIn is the place to go. It might be that, you're targeting mums, so they spend more time on Facebook. It might be that your avatar always looks through Google, in which case having good SEO and possibly even investing in Google ads might be beneficial to your business. So think about the different places that they're showing up and select the best mediums to reach them. And then review your avatar and try and think like them. What's going on in their heads? What's keeping them awake at night? What are they scared of? What are their ambitions? What are they excited by? What are their goals? What are their fears? So what is that narrative in their head? And really spend time to think about this. And then revise your wording in any of your marketing so that it speaks directly to them. So in the headlines, that first line that you're putting out, that needs to draw them in and make them want to read further. So it needs to speak to them. And your offer as well. Your offer can be influenced by who you're trying to target. So you want to address their problems and their frustrations, and then also use social proof. So you're going to come on to this. So specific testimonials and case studies that match the target market and help them to see you as a great person to work with to solve their struggles and challenges and help them to get towards what they want in life. Awesome. So highly recommend doing this work. Focus, spend the time, and implement. This is one of the most important things you can do.